Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. This channel is There Has to Be Something More. I'm your humble host, Scott Moore, and I saw a couple of videos that were similar, so I thought I'd put one out for this channel. And really, it was guys talking about kind of what nudged them into retirement. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit today about, like, I had been researching retiring abroad for, 10 or 12 years. It was like something I loved doing on my free time. Uh, so I was always, and I had done quite a bit of traveling to other countries, and a lot of my very, very fondest memories in life were of travel. So it was something that I looked forward to for a long time. Tried to figure out different ways to leave early, but at 60, and my plan forever was to leave at 62. Most of the places that I was looking at, I knew that it didn't matter what I had in my IRA, my 401ks, my retirement accounts probably never needed to be touched if I left at 62. Um, I knew that the size of my Social Security check was going to be enough to cover me without a problem. So uh, anyway, so I was kind of thinking, like, when I was watching a couple of these other videos, like the last straw. And what kind of nudged me, because I ended up leaving at 60. So 2 years before, really, I kind of wanted to. Looking back financially, it definitely would have been better. I would have saved myself a chunk of my IRA. But uh, and so let me back up a little bit. The job that I had, I'd done every job in the investment business almost for 37 years. I worked in a bond trading department. I worked as a financial advisor for large banks. I worked as an investment wholesaler and regional vice president, wholesaling investments for large insurance companies. And and then the last 15 years, I moved from sales more into kind of an education role, which was as a retirement plan counselor. So there were, in my very last job, there were 5 of us, and we administered the retirement plan for 34,000 employees. So when they had a question about their retirement plan, whether it was how to invest the money, am I contributing enough, when can I have access, how can I take a loan, all those different questions that come along with retirement accounts, the 34,000 employees would call the 5 of us. So kept us busy, and I liked my job, but I never felt like I was defined by my job. Um, the the There was kind of a really a strange morph that happened in corporate America for a little while, and I think it's kind of changed a little bit. Um, but and let me start with this. My wife is Hispanic. 4 Hispanic daughters. I have grandkids that are Hispanic and Asian. So I want to start by that. So we have a very racially diverse family. And we lived in what most people would think would be, if any area of the United States was very racist, then it would be where we lived. We lived in the deep South. The last place we lived was South Carolina. So if you ask Americans around the country, where are there more racist, you're likely to hear the Southeast, although I would disagree. And the reason is because our family lived in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. I think in all those years, and my daughters and my wife, they have brown skin. I mean, it's completely clear that they are not Caucasian. All those years, we had one incident where in the middle of nowhere, some old man told one of my daughters, "We don't serve your kind here," in some little store that nobody was in. So, I when asked about things like racism, I would say I know for sure there are racists out there. We just did not encounter it. We never had problems with the police, anything like that. And so, and the reason I kind of start with that is because when I was just getting into the retirement plan consultant business, we were working at this gigantic healthcare facility. So we were speaking to doctors, nurses, administrators, everybody about their retirement accounts. And I remember my boss telling me, I mean, this was when I very first was kind of moving out of sales and into education, and him saying, look, there's going to be times when you're going to meet with employees and they're going to bring up politics. And he just said, I would encourage you to just avoid it, because we're politically divisive in the country. There's no reason you need to take a chance and see if you're going to aggravate somebody. So if they start bringing up politics, what I usually say is, you know, Mr. Jones, we're probably not going to solve all the problems of the world today, but we can definitely work on all the questions you have on your retirement account. And usually that's it. And he was exactly right. And it did come up. That answer did kind of get them to kind of move right into the retirement account and away from politics. But when I was 60, all of a sudden, a lot of corporate America started changing. They were at one point where, you know, telling us, don't get into politics at all. I mean, you've got a 50-50 chance of having somebody not like you right off the bat. So, but then at 60, all of a sudden, we started just getting overwhelmed with not more work, not more stress, but all of these like mandatory classes. And there was a lot of different ones, but they weren't optional, they were mandatory. And you know, so the example I'll give you is this is why the United States is systematically racist. And so it wasn't phrased like is the United States systemically racist? It was, this is why. And we had the again, mandatory classes we had to go through over and over and over again. And it just was something that really I felt super uncomfortable doing. As I said before, I understand there are racists. There are racists everywhere in every country. And I've been to enough countries to know that there are racists everywhere. But as far as systemically racist, you know, I don't know. That's for somebody else to argue. But I didn't like it being part of my business life, my work life. And it got more and more difficult to relax. I mean, like even on my time off, because I was thinking about all these more of these classes coming up and having to take them. And I finally just said, I think life's too short. And so I'll just tell you, looking back, financially it would have been better if I could stay till 62. I'd have more money in my IRA account for sure. But also my health is dramatically better than it was at 60. And now I'm 63. So, and I would encourage all of you, if you don't believe me, go back to some of my early videos. I mean, I even did a few videos before we left the US. Like, I think maybe the first one might have been maybe a month before we were heading to Nicaragua. So you can go back and you can see, I mean, my face is really fat and usually bright red from stress and high blood pressure. Since being here, it's just a different lifestyle. I walk everywhere, so I walk 5 or 6 miles a day. I do strength training at the gym 4 times a week. I'm vegan anyway, so I eat a pretty healthy diet. So here, there's just massive amounts of, and by the way, I live in Xela or Quetzaltenango, Guatemala. Everywhere you go, there's mountains of the most beautiful fresh fruits and vegetables. So I've dropped 45 pounds, and I don't know how much muscle I've put on, but I've been working really, really hard in the gym. So, you know, maybe 10, 15 pounds of muscle. And so my body has had a great transformation. The stress is way lower. So sometimes it's not all about the money, and you get a lot of benefits. So I would just say if you're kind of on the fence, try to be flexible. I mean, you definitely want to, I would say if you're kind of nosing around and thinking about maybe retiring abroad, there are a lot of great places, like we looked at Thailand and the Philippines and Mexico and lots of different places. There's a lot of places with high quality of life, low cost of living. I lived in Florida for 40 years. I always, every day, hated the heat and humidity. So now I live about 8,000 feet in the mountains of Guatemala. This is a city of about 1 million people, has 3 modern malls. We have a big Walmart. Most of the conveniences that you would get. It's not like the United States, so don't think of it as like, oh, it's going to be like the United States, but cheaper. Very, very different than the United States. But I would start off, if I was starting all over again, I would start off by eliminating things. Like, okay, I've got a list of 30 or 40 different countries that all seem to be in my cost parameter. You can also look at the International Living Global Retirement Index. It gives you a big chart and how they rank countries for cost of living, weather, easy to get into the culture, all those things. That's a great way to start. But start eliminating things like mine for sure was, I'm not living any place that's hot. I don't care if they've got the most beautiful beach in the world. I'm not going to go walk around sweating all day long like I did in Florida most of my life. So you can kind of start eliminating things like that. Maybe one of them is, this is terribly expensive, or this place isn't very safe. For safety, go to numbeo.com. You can pull cities and countries up and get all the safety numbers. So kind of start eliminating things that you don't want. All of a sudden, your list is going to start getting shorter and shorter. But anyway, that was the last straw, getting politics into the work life. I didn't like it. I find myself here much happier when I stay away from the news for a while. I just find myself, I'm in a better mood. So anyway, if you have questions, please like, subscribe to the channel. If you're getting something out of this, comment down below. I answer all of my comments, and hope you all are having a great day. And remember, if you need an adventure, there has to be something more.